A collector's market where games just progressively get more and more expensive instead of cheaper.
So here's my take on that. I actually think it's a great idea, and the gaming industry is never going to do it. The gaming industry hates the idea of you actually owning your games. Hates it. And you are correct. You could basically devise a non-fungible token that says, I, the holder of this token, own this game in perpetuity. Say you owned an NFT that says, I own Chrono Trigger. Then it doesn't matter what platform you play it on, you own Chrono Trigger. You have the right to play Chrono Trigger. There, of course, could be a legal case that if the game is different enough, then that NFT wouldn't apply if, say, they added new content to a re-release. But the thing is, that can be debated, and in general, that looks really bad on the industry side. You can make a very good case that, the PC release of Chrono Trigger and the SNES release of Chrono Trigger are basically the same game. They have the same title, even though they have different things like cutscenes or maybe an extra quest included. And that is the last thing the industry wants. The industry wants you to keep buying the same game over and over again. The industry also doesn't want you to sell your games ever, because then that means that there's a transaction happening that they're not getting money from. And you're 100% correct. If NFTs were made to basically show ownership of a digital product like a video game, then you could have an entire secondary or tertiary market that is just people exchanging NFTs with each other. And the gaming industry would hate that, because they want you to be buying the new version of Chrono Trigger that they recently re-released. They don't want you selling your rights to someone else. They want those rights to quietly disappear into the ether. Now, here's the thing. Do I think that a digital token that shows ownership for a video game would create a market where prices would inflate? I actually don't. And here's the reason why. You actually do have to keep making games with certain properties to hold on to your rights for them. Not necessarily copyright, but things like trademark and so on and so forth. That's why companies end up doing re-releases. That's why every so often you see Square Enix release another version of Chrono Trigger, because they will lose some rights if they don't do anything with it. NFTs and crypto in general go up in price when there's scarcity. But you're talking about a market in which a game publisher would have to basically create no scarcity. They have to prove that they're making the game available to purchase to avoid it becoming abandonware. Which means they'll keep creating new tokens, which means there's not a lot of scarcity. In fact, in a way, these aren't really NFTs at all. They're just like another form of cryptocurrency, because they are fungible. One copy of Chrono Trigger is as good as the next copy of Chrono Trigger. So if you owned a Chrono Coin, you'd have the rights to play Chrono Trigger.